Hi, I'm Travis for ComicsVerse here at New York Comic Con Special Edition 2015, sitting here with legendary colorist Paul Mounts. Paul, I like to think that the colorists are sort of the unsung heroes of the comic book world because it's really, your job that makes the art really pop and come alive. Could you tell us a little bit about the thought process behind, the color selection of the work that you work on?
It's all about the storytelling, really. I mean, you can go in and render the hell out of everything, and it's not going to make the artwork read anymore. It's it's basically a line art medium, and our job is to lead the eye through a panel, through a page, using various forms of contrast, setting the tone and mood of the color of the piece. It's telling the story. It's the same thing the penciler and inker do, just in a slightly different way.
So depending on which characters, that's going to help determine whether you choose more vibrant colors versus more like I noticed that you've got a much darker, grittier sort of feeling on that banner there, but some of your art on the table here is a lot more vibrant. So how do you make that distinction?
Well, it depends on the storyline. Again, it's a storytelling. This is a dark story with the X-Men and the Sentinels and, fire and brimstone and chaos is happening, whereas, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and Catwoman going on a road trip is a little bit more lighthearted. So, you try and make the palette appropriate for whatever the story is.
Fair enough. Now, I also know that you're no stranger to the ink and pencils, but what is it that got you involved in the color aspect of comic art?
When I first got into comics, I was working in storyboards and advertising. And there was two small comics publishers in Chicago where I lived, Now Comics and First Comics. And I was penciling and inking and writing and lettering and art directing and painting covers and everything. But it was right about that time where coloring actually started becoming a viable thing, when there weren't a lot of people doing high-end painted color. And since I was doing high-end color on storyboards or TV commercials at the time, it was just kind of a short jump to doing that for comics. And it frankly became more lucrative than the penciling and inking and everything else at the time. So it paid my rent.
Fair enough. Now, is there a particular comic book or title that you enjoy working on the most?
I'm actually really lucky. I'm working on a lot of really good titles right now. I'm doing a lot of Harley Quinn stuff with Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. And Stefan Rue is drawing the Harley Quinn Power Girl miniseries that I'm coloring. Let's see what else. I'm working on a Lando Calrissian Star Wars book for Marvel, which is a lot of fun. It's Alex Maliv's art and phenomenal artwork. Let's see, what else? Those are probably my two favorite projects right now that I'm working on. They're both a lot of fun. So,
awesome, glad to hear it. Yeah, the art on Harley Quinn especially, that's like some of my favorites. Very lighthearted, very goofy, like you were saying earlier, very brightly colored.
Yeah, it depends on the story on that too. I mean, the Harley Quinn Power Girl miniseries, it starts off on this really dead planet. So, you open that book up and you've got these two lively characters on, this purple, gray, blue, dead-looking planet. And, eventually kind of segues into kind of Avatar-like colors where it's all like the purples and blues and things like that. But, it was a nice change of contrast to have them start off with the dead world, which you don't see too often in Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Could you? No worries. So, what can we be expecting from you in the future?
Lots more Harley Quinn stuff. I've got several projects right now I'm working on that. Doing the Badger for First Comics, which is kind of a return. Badger was printed by First Comics back in the 1980s and 90s, and he's back now. Like I said, the Star Wars book for Marvel. Doing a bunch of Disney kids books for Marvel. Disney's putting together Marvel's kids books now for like Barnes & Noble,
nice.
Kids department. So I did a bunch of Avengers ones with Rachel Rosenberg and doing some Spider-Man ones coming up soon. So those are a lot of fun too, change of pace.
Cool. How does it feel to be back on Badger after so many years off?
I never worked on it back when it was originally published. I worked for other stuff for First Comics, but I did a couple covers for Badger. So this is really my first real, getting my feet wet on Badger, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a good book.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to a lot more Harley Quinn, and definitely gonna have to take a look at Badger then. I've been enjoying your art and your colors on everything. Like I said, you're sort of a color legend, and
it means I'm old.
No, it means you're talented is what that means.
Center honors for colorists, old colorists.
Well, thank you very, very much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you, man.
No problem. Again, I'm Travis for ComicsVerse here at Special Edition Comic Con 2015, and this has been Paul Mounts. Thanks again.
Thank you, man.
Have a great day.